Hey Facebook, YouTube, it's Kevin Newsom coming to you from Houston, Texas, wishing you well on this quarantine Easter weekend. You know, one of the great things about having an abundance of time means you are able to do things you've been putting off for a while. And one of the things I've been putting off is telling you a story. This story is the most intense experience I've ever had with the paranormal. Now, this story occurred several weeks ago, and I've been sitting on the EVP clip of this for quite a while because, as you're going to find out shortly, this has been an ongoing, unfolding investigation. Really, this experience has been ongoing for several weeks. But I wanted to tell you the story from the point of origin, from the start, and let it unfold to you, the viewer, in real time. So we start several weeks ago. I was going to the church that I attend regularly in the Houston area, and I met up with the sound guy who was already there, who's also a guitarist. And if you're not aware, I play guitar, I write rock and roll music, I sing as well. So sometimes I would go up to the church on off nights, and we would mess around with guitar and just really shoot the breeze and hang out. That particular night, within about 15 to 20 minutes of beginning the jam session, I had the overwhelming feeling that I needed to leave. Within a few minutes of getting this overwhelming feeling, I told the sound guy, hey, I need to check out, I need to go. Don't feel right, I need to go. And he was a little perplexed, and I could see it in his face. The confusion as I was packing up my belongings. Well, I had gone to put back a guitar stand I had gotten from the storage room to the west of the stage. And as I was doing this, I noticed that a tarp that was covering some other items in the storage room just happened to move by itself. And this was a heavy tarp, mind you. This wasn't some light, small-time tarp. This was made of very coarse, heavy material. And after I saw that, I said to the sound guy, man, we really need to stay because something is happening here. Now, this is the same church that I've got clips of EVPs on this YouTube channel. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, check out the EVP section of this channel and you'll see what I mean. So in any case, he agrees that we should stay. And so what we do is leave the digital recorder that I have set up in that storage room that usually I take to listen to jam sessions. And we're going to just record and see what happens in this church for the next 20, 30, 40 minutes. So as we leave this recorder running in the storage room off the side of the stage in the chapel, we go and turn the lights out to the rest of the building, with the only light being left on in the sanctuary chapel room. We go back to the sanctuary and sit in the front rows, and we note kind of a strange feeling. So after several minutes, the sound guy asks a question. He says, "Do you want us to leave?" So shortly thereafter, we hear nothing. The sound guy asks a follow-up question, "Are you conflicted?" he asks. Within about 30 seconds of asking that last question, we both hear what sounds like alarms going off. And at first, I believe this to be either an alarm in the church building itself, or perhaps a house alarm from one of the nearby homes in the neighborhood. Now the sound guy says, I don't think it's the church alarm. It sounds like something else. So we get up, we leave the sanctuary, and we go to investigate. We walk down the hall only to discover that the noise is not an alarm at all. It turns out that it's all the electronic toys going off in the children's room by themselves. Once we realize what's happening, we get tremendously excited because a question had just been asked, and then probably within a minute of that question being asked, we have this incredible phenomenon happen, this incredible event of electronic toys just going off by themselves. Now, interestingly enough, this children's room was taped shut. Someone had taken painter's tape, the blue painter's tape, and sealed the room shut. At the time, we didn't understand why. Later on, we found out that the staff for the past several weeks had noticed that someone had been entering the children's room in between church services and messing around with all the toys. And they would walk in and find stuff strewn all about. So they decided, we're going to tape the child's room shut after church services and make sure no one comes in and messes around in there. So we have this rather amazing situation where we're the only two people in the building. A question was asked, essentially asking whatever was in that building if it wanted us to leave. And within a minute or two of that question being asked, all the toys go off by themselves in the kids' room down the hall. Of note, at the time, we did not hear anything else in the building. We did not hear any response, audible response to that question. The only thing that we heard that we considered to be a response was all the toys going off in the kids' room. It was only later on that we learned, yes indeed, there was a response. A day later, I end up listening to the digital recording of that night's events, all the way from the guitar jam session until when we leave the building. And here's where the plot thickens, because on that digital recorder, we do indeed capture a response. Now, Monday night on YouTube, on this channel, I'm going to premiere the EVP of what we captured that night. You're going to hear the answer we got from the entity or entities in that church building. So be on the lookout for that. In a few days, you're going to get the premiere of probably the most intense EVP and paranormal event I've ever experienced. As always, I leave it to you to judge for yourself, but I wanted to lay the groundwork for this particular EVP just because it's such an incredible story. So hopefully you're doing well. Hopefully you're surviving the quarantine in one piece. If you're bored, if you're looking for excitement, well, you're going to get some from this channel, certainly within a couple of days when I unveil this excellent EVP for your listening pleasure. Once again, this is Kevin Newsom coming to you from Houston, Texas. Stay tuned. Probably the best EVP I've ever recorded coming up in a couple of days. I say God bless each and every one of you. Enjoy your Good Friday, your Easter weekend. I'll see you soon. God bless. Bye.